So let's talk about the Christmas Battleforce release. Seems like a lot of Games Workshop's big hype box sets have disappeared disappointingly quickly. So let's talk about what sold out, what hasn't, and Games Workshop's overall handling of the release. Hello and welcome back to Auspex Tactics, where today I thought we'd talk through Games Workshop's Christmas Battleforces once more, and rather unfortunately it does seem to be a bit of a reversion to type from Games Workshop, at least for some of these box sets in some parts of the world. These box sets for Warhammer 40k and Age of Sigmar have been generating really quite big hype over the last few weeks. It is one of Games Workshop's biggest releases of the calendar year. Take a whole bunch of popular 40k armies, put a load of fairly nice new kits in them at a fairly generous discount at least by their standards, and then put them up for pre-order on their web store. These ones always have the potential to sell out perhaps disappointingly quickly. It certainly was the case last year for certain sets like the Adeptus Custodes and Imperial Knights, and with this year, at least at time of recording, it seems to be a bit of a mixed bag. Some of them went absolutely absurdly quickly, though some of them are still present at time of recording. Perhaps the major headlines from this release are that independent gaming stores got very, very low stock levels, perhaps lower than many of the other releases that we've had throughout the last few years. The World Eaters box in particular was gone in minutes from the Games Workshop web store, even with their queuing system and order limits in place, and the Tyranids, Votan and Orc box sets weren't far behind within the next few hours. Usually when Warhammer kits go for pre-order around the world, it's both the Games Workshop web store and the independent retailers that also put them up at the same sort of time. It's usually around about 10 AM in the UK, though some places release them just a little bit earlier than that. It does appear that Games Workshop really did cut out the independent retailers pretty much out of the bargain for the vast majority of these box sets, despite them obviously wanting to order really quite a lot of them to satisfy people's demands. If you can land some of these sets at a discount above Games Workshop prices, then it's about as good deals as you can get for Warhammer in general. There's reports of plenty of these independent stores only getting around about 5 to 10 copies of each box set, or sometimes less than that, and when they went on sale, pretty much all of these sold out near instantly, even the less popular ones like the Space Marines and the Astra Militarum. I did notice maybe a few extra signs that gaming stores were perhaps having abnormally low stock levels compared with normal. Element Games, usually quite a major retailer in the UK, had this little disclaimer on their website saying that they weren't even going to have stock on their website at all. They were just going to send the stock to their stores, given that the amounts that they had to release were so low. And I noticed that Leodis Games, another great retailer that I've used myself in the past, has put together a whole bunch of discount box sets that are just literally going to be the individual kits for these things, but sold at a 25% discount above and beyond the normal levels, so that people that did want to pick up the exact miniatures from these box sets in question still maybe had a bit more of a reason to do so, even if they didn't have the stock of the actual boxes themselves. Could be worth a look if you're in the UK. They are a bit more pricey than the £140 that Games Workshop was selling them for, but 25% off is a much better deal than you usually get from discount retailers like that. Otherwise, I noticed that Fenris Workshop in Canada, that's linked down in the video description, did say that they'd have at least some fairly good stock levels of these. Could be worth a look if you're based in Canada. It seems that they're on sale from their web store now, though I can't check individual stock levels as they filter the website outside of Canada, just to stop people trying to order Games Workshops overseas, which you're not usually allowed to ship to if you're based there. It does seem that perhaps as per normal, Games Workshop saved the bulk of a very in-demand release for their own web store, though even there it does seem that they haven't had enough to satisfy as many kits as people wanted. Out of the box sets, when I did the channel poll, it did seem that the World Eaters box set would be the one that people were most interested in picking up. This one and the Leagues of Votan were voted as the best box sets. It seems that this one in particular sold out very quickly, even from Games Workshop's own web store. This one vanished within around about 10 to 20 minutes of it going live. Kind of abnormally popular because there's the whole Primarch Angron in the box, plus 2 units of the 3 8-bound, which have been very hard to get your hands on ever since World Eaters released earlier in the year, so I'm sure a lot of World Eaters players might just literally be buying for the 8-bound themselves. At time of recording, it looks like this is the only one that sold out in the Australia region as well, whereas all the rest of them are still on sale from Games Workshop's web store, though unfortunately paying Australian prices which are very inflated over much of the rest of the world. Otherwise, on the GW web store, I was keeping an eye on it over the morning. Looks like in the UK and Europe, the World Eaters, Tyranids, Orcs and Votan ones are all sold out at time of recording. Most of them went within 1 hour, the Orcs one a little bit behind that. At time of recording, it looks like the Astra Militarum one and the Space Marines still remain, and out of Age of Sigmar, the Slaves to Darkness one and the Ossiarch Bone Reapers went pretty fast. It seems that the other two are still on sale at time of recording at least. For Australia and New Zealand, for the 40k ones, it's just World Eaters that's gone at the moment, and Canada and the USA, I believe, don't have their miniatures released yet. They should probably be going on pre-order not too long after this video drops, so perhaps particularly if you're looking to get the World Eaters one, it's worth being prompt, and it looks like the Votan Tyranids and Orcs are the next most in danger ones of selling out in that kind of order. For the Games Workshop web store, or now Warhammer.com web store, it looks like they've had a queuing system in place for the morning. I think that the queuing system now appears to be an automatic feature when the store gets busy, as opposed to having to be manually turned on and off by staff, which is probably an improvement and maybe is a bit more usable for releases like this. Wait time for me over the morning tended to be around about 5 to 20 minutes, though it looks like there's no queues at the moment now, I guess after having a bunch of the box sets having sold out already. There was a 1 box per customer order restriction, so you could pick up to 1 of each of the boxes if you wanted to, not 2 as they've done in previous releases, though both of these factors didn't stop the World Eaters one going very, very quickly indeed, and then the next 2 following within the hour. It also did seem that the web store wasn't very good at knowing stock levels as well. When I ordered some boxes for the channel giveaway, it allowed me to add a bunch that were displayed as in stock, but then they only actually prevented the order when it came to payment. It said basically some of these items are out of stock, even though when I looked back again at the web store, it still looks like they were displaying as in stock, allowing me to add to the basket again if I wanted to. So it maybe just looks like things are a little bit delayed with realizing things are out of stock from when it displays. I did wonder if people might have been trying to scalp these, and it certainly looks like there's a bit of that. Perhaps the World Eaters one looks like it could be the biggest target for potential scalping, seeing as that went straight away. Though compared with at least some releases, it maybe doesn't look like people are going as hard for the scalping thing as, say, when Lionel Johnson came out. Even shortly after pre-order, that one was going for absolutely astronomical rates above what you'd pay for it from the web store, around about 3 times the price. It certainly does look like, as usual, people are trying to scalp it, and a few of those have sold for inflated prices, though maybe not crazy inflated ones. The ones in the USA are going up for around about $40 more than manufacturer's selling price. Obviously not great, and I wouldn't be paying that sort of thing. But it's not like the treble numbers that we've seen before. I guess partly due to these not actually really being new miniature releases or anything like that, just discount bundles of other existing stuff, which only really has extra value due to the discount it is, and if you're not getting it at a discount, then you may as well just wait until Games Workshop have it in store anyway. In any case, the numbers of the box sets limited do seem to be at least kind of limited compared with other times that Games Workshop sold out of things too quickly. I don't know whether it's due to people trying to scalp, just not being able to get their hands on enough of these, or whether they might be doing something like trying to break down the kits to, say, sell the 8-bound individually compared with Angron. But for whatever reason, there aren't absolutely floods of these appearing online instantly. As usual, it's all really quite disappointing when Games Workshop does sell out of certain popular things that they've been basically advertising to us for a few weeks now. It just feels a bit mean to get people all hyped up for things like the World Eaters box set, and people wanting to get their hands on the Red Angel, and then they will just wind up not making enough, so you literally can't buy them. I'm sure some people who are really prompt manage to get their hands on some, but the vast majority of hobbyists just aren't really all that engaged refreshing the web store right at 10 AM on Saturday morning, so we'll just turn up a bit later in the day or later on and just find things not in stock. There's always a bit of a speculation as to how much Games Workshop deliberately limits supply. I think ideally they do want to sell out the vast majority of the stock that they have, and don't want loads and loads of big boxes sitting on their shelves and just not getting sold. But then they don't want to underproduce by so much that they leave a whole load of potential customers unable to buy the things that they want to buy from them, as that's probably not good for their profits either. It seems that they are just a bit variable with this. They massively underproduce the Lion, but if anything maybe overproduced Leviathan. It seems that around the world there's typically been more of that than people needed, and some of last year's Battleforces, particularly the chapter-specific Space Marine ones, just didn't gain as much interest as they might have expected, it seems. If you were looking to pick up these, there's always the possibility of local stores, particularly for people who've got hobby shops nearby. Might just be worth asking at your local Warhammer store or at your independent retailer to see whether or not they're going to have any physical copies on the shelves when it comes to next Saturday morning. Games Workshop do typically allocate a portion of their stock towards their own brick and mortar stores, so that should imply that at least some of these will be turning up on release day on the 18th, probably even including some of the ones that have sold out already on the web store. I suspect that they will probably have some of those, so that might be one other way to get your hands on the Disciples of the Red Angel, etc. For myself, I did put in an order for a few of them. I'm going to be doing the Battleforce giveaway for December on the channel, which I'd already committed to. but due to the supply limits, I might need to just pick up some of these Battle Forces as individual kits, basically, and post them on to people who choose that particular one. It certainly makes me a bit disappointed that Games Workshop didn't produce more of these or send more to discount retailers, as I definitely would have enjoyed picking up these at a discount rather than paying for the box sets individually. If those discount deals from the Otis games do stick around for a bit, I might well wind up taking them up on those offers. Basically, the way that I'm going to do it for that one is see what people want when the giveaway winners are announced. If it's possible to get the Battle Force itself, then I will post it off to them. If not, then I'll buy the individual kits either from Games Workshop or one of the discount retailers and just bundle them together so you get exactly the same miniatures, even if it isn't necessarily in the box. There might be a bit of a delay if some of the miniatures are out of stock for a protracted period, and it's definitely going to be a lot more expensive for myself. If you are interested in entering that giveaway as potentially one way to get some of these minis, I will just quickly mention the December giveaway for the channel. It's the chance to win one of the 8 Christmas Battleforce boxes this year, though as mentioned they might be bought as individual kits if Games Workshop really don't come out with many more of these or I can't pick them up at local retailers. Regardless though, the 8 winners of these will get all the miniatures inside one of the Christmas Battleforces that they choose, whether it's World Eaters, Space Marines or one of the rest. And as normal for the channel giveaways, there's 2 equal ways to enter, linked down in the video description. Either you can support the channel on Patreon, it is what allows me to keep on making these videos quite so regularly, and any amount allows you automatic entry each and every month. The link's down in the video description for that. Otherwise you can enter completely for free by supporting on social media, subscribe to the YouTube channel, like the Facebook page, and then enter the draw on the 1st of December. A giveaway post appears on the Facebook page at midnight UK time, and reply to that post with a picture of any 40k mini or imagery, along with your name and the date handwritten within the photo, the latter bits just to deter Facebook bots and spammers. Then after 24 hours of that being active, I take all the entries and put them into a random number generator. I'll pick out the 8 winners, announce them in the channel update video on the 4th of December, and ask you which ones you want. I'll post the boxes or the minis to you after I receive them, whether they're bought individually or as the box set proper. In any case, check out the Patreon or the Facebook down in the video description if you'd like to enter for that. In any case, let me know your thoughts on Games Workshop's release strategy and the Battleforce boxes down in the comments below. Were you expecting them to be going this quickly or not? And if you managed to get hold of the ones that you wanted, if you did want to get any. Feel free to subscribe to Auspex Tactics if you'd like to see more like this. I do tend to cover Games Workshop's news and models releases, with new 40k videos out just about every day. Finally, if you'd like to help support the channel and keep all these videos coming, the channel's Patreon page is linked down in the video description, as well as entry to the giveaways each month. There's also a few other things like seeing certain videos early, regular votes to see what sort of things come next on the channel, and a few other bits and bobs. That's linked down below if you're interested. In any case, a massive thank you for listening, and I'll hope to see you guys next time.